exclamation
Oh, somebody already did
mark.
that. It's gone.
Okay, so what's your
Bro, you're fucking lagging your ass off.
Oh, really? Am I
Yeah.
still lagging? Still
Sounds
lagging?
fine now.
No, not right now, not right now.
Okay, anyway, so what's your argument for moral realism?
But do you not hold a position? Or you just...
No, I don't agree with your position of moral realism, so I'm asking what's the argument.
Yeah, I'm saying like whatever.
You're a little freak, aren't you?
Yeah, a little brief. All right, Apollo. So
Yeah?
So do you know what the position of moral realism entails?
I actually don't.
Don't. Okay, I'm gonna read it out
I'm being
for you. Hold on.
sarcastic, dumbass. Obviously I do. It's the position that you're up to moral facts. Did you give me the argument?
Okay. Okay, yeah. So would you say let me give you an example. You would agree that like by definition, being moral is good and being unmoral is being bad, right?
It's called yes, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. So if I was to say something like being moral is good, would you agree that's a fact?
What do you mean by a fact in this?
Something that is true. Like,
And what's your theory?
like something that isn't
Do
wrong.
you believe that
like,
something which is true, something which corresponds with external reality?
Sure.
Well, then if that's the case, then it's not going to be the case that any definition is true because they don't share the correspondence with the external reality.
That's actually false. You understand the definition of objective would it have to be objective?
Definitions are going to be based on certain words used for the concepts of some agent.
So you would agree that.
Wait, hold on. Let me explain. So if it is a case that definitions just simply captures what an agent means when they use a particular word under a given linguistic scenario, how is it going to be the case that that is something which shares any form of relation with the external world?
Okay, so the definition of objective really talks about the objective world. So you're agreeing.
I'm asking for the definition of objectivity. I'm asking you to relay out to me the ontology of definition.
Apollo, you asked me how a definition can what's called link to the external world. I gave you an example, right, with definition of objective, literally linking to the external world and it being correct.
Dumbass, I'm talking about the truth maker, the truth maker of definitions. I'm not talking about the reference.
Okay, so you disagree with things existing in external world just being objective then?
We're not talking about external realism. We're talking about whether the truth makers of definitions. Hold on, shut up. You asked me a question, right? So what I'm talking about here is whether definitions can be objectively true, because your claim that definitions can be true or definitions can be factual. I'm saying that no, they cannot be if you're going to go under my linguistic account of definitions. Now, if you're going to want to say that there's some external relative facts or experimental factor which fixes the truth status of definitions, could you point to me experimental factor, please?
I just restored that position. I gave you an example with the definition of objective literally referring to the external world and it referring to itself. So if that's
not talking about the truth maker of definitions. You're talking about hold on. You're talking about the reference of a definition, i.e. what the definition is about, right? So what? Hold on.
External world. Okay.
Hold on. Just listen. What definition? Like, for example, if I'm defining the word rock, I'm using these definiendums or these words to relate some concepts regarding some object or reference which exists in the external world.
Yes, and the object can be external.
Hold on, I'm not done speaking. That is not to say that the referent is what causes or makes the definition true or false. It is just the case that there's something that the definition is about, and that thing is about the external reality. But that's not the question I'm asking you.
Okay, so you agree the definitions do refer to external reality. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you.
It's not the point. The point of disagreement here is shut up. You're not going to ask me this. Oh, do you agree with this? And try to define my position on the disagreements here.
You just recording.
Hold on. Shut up. The point of contention here is whether definitions can be objectively true. If we both agree, hold on, I'm not done speaking. Shut up. Stop interrupting. If we both agree that all definitions are things or linguistic items which are used to tell someone what a person means in their mind when they're using the word, then obviously that's going to be something which is supervened on mental properties, not something which is something regarding the extra-mental world.
Okay. Objective, not dependent on the mind for existence. Semicolon, actual. All right. So that's a nice concession.
Will you show me any definition which exists independent of the mind?
Yeah, I got you. I look at the second dot under one. And you can see right there it says verbatim.
I'm asking for an argument, not
on the
some
mind.
What's the argument?
What? I'm showing you definition and show. Like,
wait a
so,
second.
like,
so when someone presents it, wait, I'm going to ask you this question. When someone presents a definition of a word, are they telling someone not when they use that word?
Okay. Anyway, you gotta
a better argument. Response. It's either yes or no. Is it the case that when someone gives a definition of a word, there's someone what they mean when they use that word in a scenario?
Apollo, you asked me if there was any link between a definition referring to the
That's not what I asked you.
Okay.
That's just such a that's an overly simplified version of the contention I made.
The point is you're making a word. You're
not even properly presenting my contention. You're just overly simplifying it for the sake of deviating from the actual.
Because at the end of the day, want to simplify it, I defeat the argument. I don't need to fucking.
Are you gonna stop jibber jabbering and actually respond to my skeptical objection?
So, like, I'll beat your argument.
Okay, look, argument. Stop jibber jabbering and respond to skeptical objection. Right? I'm asking you. I never made. Hold on, shut up. I never made the claim that the definition has no or no regards to anything in the external world. What I say is that the truth maker of definitions are going to be something which is mental. And if that is going to be the case, right, or not even truth, rather, what gives a definition meaning is going to be something which is based on the mind. And if that is the case, then how is it going to be the case that definitions are objective if it is not based or if it is not independent of the mind?
So I showed you definitions are subjective, so you just wrong. Doesn't matter.
Wait, you showed why definitions are subjective. Is that what you're saying?
I said objective. I didn't say subjective. I said objective. You misheard me.
Wait a second. So are you trying to imply that definitions are going to be something which don't relate or tell us anything about what someone's thinking?
Any definition referring to itself is objective, so it don't matter.
So how is it the case that definitions are mind independent?
It says right there. So.
Right, no, it doesn't. Say right there. Well, you show me in the screenshot is the definition of objective. I didn't ask you. Hold on. I didn't ask you for the definition of objective. I asked you why is it the case that definitions are objective?
It says right there. What are you talking about?
Could you prove to me that what is being stated in the screenshot actually verifies your claim?
Yeah. So the definition of objective, right? So the definition, right?
We're not asking you for the definition of objective. We're asking you why are definitions in their ontology objective?
Apollo, listen. There's a word called objective, right?
No, I'm listening. I'm definitely listening to the jibber jabber you're making. It's not actually productive. It's not actually proving your verdict.
The definition for it. Listen, Apollo. The definition.
We're not asking for the definition of objective. We're asking you why are definitions objective?
Apollo, in order for the definition of objective to go through, it needs to be objective as well. To even talk about
why?
Why? It's talking about an objective thing. What are you talking about?
Wait a second. So you're saying that when someone is saying that the word means X, the word is going to be objective in itself.
If someone says the word objective means X, they can either be objectively wrong or objectively false based upon this.
Why?
Or whatever. Why? Okay, you got it, bro. You're a troll. I got
it. Is that a concession?
You need to explain that. No, I just don't need to explain that, bro. Like if you don't think,
so you don't believe the definition is the meaning of someone or what someone is thinking?
Not in this case.
Okay, I'm just gonna simplify it for you, okay? So again, say to someone that by an apple I mean X. Am I not telling the person what I mean when I use the word apple in a linguistic scenario?
Not in this case, bro. I'm telling you right now.
Wait, I'm not talking about in this case. I'm talking about the example I'm giving.
Yeah. Okay.
Focus on the hypothetical, okay? So in the hypothetical, whereas hold on, shut up, because you're always not tracking, right? I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you to track the actual points here. So I'm saying to you that in an example where I say to someone that I mean X when I use the word Y, right? Am I telling the person what I mean when I'm using the word X in my mind?
Okay, so if you use the word
it's a yes or no. It's a yes or no. Is the case that I'm telling someone what I mean by the word X, right? When I'm using it in a linguistic scenario.
If you used X but meant Y, you just used it wrong. That's all I want to say, bro.
Wait a second. So if I use the word objective and I meant mind independent, I used it wrong because they're two different words?
Bro, Apollo.
You sound stupid. You just said a while ago that just because words are different, that's gonna automatically verify that the definition is wrong.
Apollo, if you meant X and Y as in being synonyms, like why does that matter? You should just be
now it's the original point here. What? The original point here is whether you said that because these things are different variables or different items or you could say names or whatever or titles, that's gonna automatically verify the fact that they're wrong or the definition is wrong.
Apollo, your hypothetical didn't clarify if it was synonyms or not. And I believe if you are using synonyms shouldn't be described as X versus Y. It should be like X versus X type shit. Like I think X versus Y. You can say like, oh, apple versus dog, that type shit. When you say something like equal or what's another word for equal? Same. Like,
you don't think there can be a definition which is identical to a word without there being synonym?
Okay, my point is that if they're identical or if they're synonyms to each other,
if I define a bachelor to be a man who's unmarried, where's the synonym there? I'm using a collection of words. I'm using a collection of words to represent an idea identical to the word of a bachelor.
What did you say? I didn't hear you. Say it again. You said a man who's unmarried.
You're trying to imply that the only way in which a definition can be accurate is if there's some synonyms being involved. So in the case where I have the word bachelor and I define the word bachelor as a man who's unmarried, there's no synonym there, but there's a collection of words used. Hold on, there's a collection of words used to relate the same idea as the idea which is embedded within the usage of the word bachelor, right? And there's no synonyms being implemented there.
That's not what I said, but you got it, bro. Because you just don't listen.
That's what you said. You said a while ago, or you implied a while ago that hold on. In the example I've given, you said that because X and Y are different, that automatically makes the definition incorrect. And I said to you, wait, do you believe that because the words are different, that automatically means the definition is correct? Apollo. No, if there's synonyms, then they would be correct. That's your only condition for the correctness of the definition.
Okay. So Apollo,
for the different conditions.
Apollo. If let's say for example, sky meant like a cloudy atmosphere, right? And you meant when you talked about sky, you were talking about an apple, like that. You're just wrong, bro. You're just wrong with definition. Like I'm not talking about. Okay, it's an apple. It's not a cloudy sky, bro. It's not a cloudy atmosphere. Like so, it's not a sky.
Wait a second. So if by an apple, all I mean is a cloudy sky, then what's wrong?
You just used the word apple wrong, bro.
You're just presuming a different definition, and you're saying under your definition it would be wrong. Like no shit, but that doesn't mean that it is objectively wrong.
Bro. Like come on, bro. Come on, you're wrong.
You're just saying that under your definition and understanding of an apple,
no, it's not.
You
just used the word wrong.
But that's not actually true.
You just used the word
wrong. The definition is objectively incorrect. It's just under your definition.
Anyway, since I already showed you why definition referring to the word being objective, make it objective, since like it needs to be objective to talk about the word objective, in some way. Because like it can either be objectively wrong or objectively false because it's talking about the objective thing. I showed you why definitions are objective. Since definition,
you didn't show anything, bro. I'm sorry. Sorry to break it to you, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I think referring to an objective thing, it is definitely not even proved that it isn't. You haven't even proved that it even is an objective thing in the first place. The word is literally called objective, bro. What are you talking about?
Dumbass, we're not talking about the word. We're talking about whether the definition of the word
and I told you. Yeah, Apollo, my argument is that in order for a definition...
not the word objective,
Apollo, my argument, in order for a definition...
You don't have to say Apollo at the start of your sentence.
Well, I want you to stop talking and listen. And my argument is, in order for a definition...
I don't need to stop talking for me to verify that your argument is just nonsense, right?
Okay. So in order for a definition to talk about a word like objective, right? It needs to be objectively wrong or false when you are referring to this objective thing. This objective. Okay.
We've already asked you, I've already asked you the reason as to why it has to be the case that a definition has to be objective for it to be intelligible. And you've not given any reason as to why this would be the case. So
yeah, bro. When you're referring to objective thing, we define it wrong. I guess it's just not objectively wrong, right? It's objectively true, even though it's wrong, right? Like retarded ass.
Sorry, that was just nonsense. Nobody understood that gibberish you just said. Mind repeat that in like an actual sensible way, please?
Anyway, I'm just gonna give you.
Of course, it was gibberish. Nothing you said actually made sense, right? What we're talking about here is the ontology of definition, not the word objective in itself. So we can agree that the word objective has a particular definition. Cool, but that's not verifying that the definition of objective is objective, retard.
It needs to be in order to talk about objective.
No, dumbass. The definition of objective just tells you. Hold on, I'm gonna break it down for you, okay? The definition of objective just tells you what people conventionally mean when they use the word objective.
Yes.
They think about when they use the word objective in conversations. Yeah, that is not proven to me. Hold on. That is not proven to me that a definition in itself as an actual object is something which exists independently of my mind. All it's doing is telling people and me and you what you mean.
Apollo.
Use the word objective in a conversation.
All that means is that in order for this definition to refer to a quote unquote objective stature being the word objective, it just means that it's objectively wrong.
You're conflating the word objective and the ontology of the definition, which is what I'm questioning.
I'm not. But
yes, you are. Just explain to why you're conflating these two things and you're not getting the point.
Apollo. The definition of objective is literally referring to a thing that you're trying to ask me to prove. So, like,
the definition of the word objective refers to something in the actual world. Okay, cool. That's still proving that the definition in itself is objective, retard.
Okay, so not dependent on the mind. Is that not true? Is that not what objective means? What you were saying earlier?
I'm not going to agree that it is true that objective means this, because all it means for something
you said earlier.
is for something. Hold on. All it means for a word to mean an idea.
You said that earlier.
Is for that idea to be something which is referred to. Hold on, I'm not done speaking. All it means for words to have
no.
Don't matter. Why are you speaking over me? I'm not done speaking.
Wow. But what you do is cool, right?
Stop interrupting. Anyways, I'm going to say to you again. That when you say that a word means something, all you're saying there is that this is what people are thinking about, or a specific individual is thinking about when they're using this word in a specific conversational circumstance or scenario. That's all you're saying there. How is that something which is independent of the mind if there's a clear mental reference there?
Anyway, you literally see the definition says that, so you're wrong.
Definition there doesn't tell you or doesn't prove to you that definitions in themselves are objective, retard.
Not dependent on the mind for existence. That's crazy.
You're defining the word objective. You're not telling me that definitions are objective.
That's literally so true by definition. I don't know what to how you even go against that, bro. You're just wrong there, bro.
Retard. You're not getting the point. I'm not asking you what the definition of the word objective is. I'm not disagreeing that the definition of the word objective actually refers to some things independent of mind. What I'm disagreeing with you here is whether the ontology of definitions has the same exact idea as what you'd believe the word objective to represent.
Apollo. My argument is that if objective, right, by your logic, is supposed to be something that is external to the mind, and I use some words to talk about this quote unquote objective status, right? In reference to me talking about this, the thing I said talking about this objective status can either be objectively true or objectively false if it goes against or goes
status. What are you talking about?
Apollo. Let's say, for example, this for hypothetical.
Dogs, I don't want a trash example. Please make it quick.
Anyway, let's say dogs can fly. That's subjective. Let's say dogs can fly. It's objective, right? That's objective.
You Hunter, are you saying that I'm speaking?
Anyway. Now, if you were to say something if you were to say something like, "Oh, this objective rule, I don't agree with it," that would just be objectively wrong. Obviously, so things that refer.
Well, that's just question begging, right? I'm just placing the question whether definitions. Hold on, shut up. I'm placing into question whether definitions can be objectively wrong or objectively correct.
Apollo.
You just keep on saying that because there's a definition of the word objective, which refers to something independent of minds, that automatically verifies the definition.
That's not what I said, Apollo. Listen carefully.
That is exactly what you're arguing.
That's not what I said, Apollo. Listen carefully. I said if there is a objective thing.
What your argument is based on the definition of the word objective, which is not verify the definitions in themselves are objective.
The analogy right now. The analogy I made.
But the analogy is something which is identical to your argument. It is something which is exemplifying the notion of your argument.
What's the analogy then, Apollo?
The analogy, I don't need to give the specific details of the analogy.
Okay, so you understand the analogy.
Your analogy is exemplifying the specific details of your argument, just in a hypothetical scenario. And I'm telling you that your argument is already flawed.
Yeah, right. Because when you talk about something and it's just wrong because it goes against that structure, it's just wrong, right? It's just true. It's wrong. Shut the fuck up, bro. You're stupid.
I'm stupid. You didn't even get the point. You tried to say
bro,
that
you didn't get the point.
This definition or the word objective has this specific definition that automatically verifies that definitions in themselves are objective.
That was my
point to what non sequitur.
Anyway, yeah. So you just didn't understand the analogy. Then that's cool.
Bro, pack him.
Anyway, yeah. So, since I already proved that
morality is objective.
So since I already proved that definitions are objective,
no, you didn't, bro.
Yeah. So since I are objective, I'm just gonna say that the objective moral claim, objective fact that I presented earlier in the debate, being that being good is moral, being a moral fact, and facts are objective. I just proved that objective morals do exist.
Well, excuse me, sorry. Hello. Oh yeah. What did you say the last part?
Yeah, what I said is that since I already proved that definitions are objective, and facts would be objective by that logic. I already brought it earlier in the debate a moral fact. This moral fact being good is moral. You can't disagree with that. Just wrong by definition if you go against that.
Firstly, this is a fact.
So
this doesn't even follow. Firstly, because what we're talking about here is whether moral facts actually exist, right? So we can all agree that hold on there a second. We can all agree that conceptually speaking, would hypothetically be something which is independent of the mind, depending on how you construe facts, right? But that is not to actually prove that these things actually exist in the actual world. That's just a non sequitur.
Anyway, I already explained this earlier in the debate, so.
No, he didn't. You just say your position that this is what you mean by this, and that's your position, and that's it. You did not actually prove that moral facts exist. You just say that moral facts exist.
I already explained to you why what's it call it since definitions refer to an objective thing, definitions by extension.
So wait a second. Do you believe that unicorns exist?
Do I believe that unicorns exist? If I say yes or no to the answer, I'm just gonna be definitely wrong or right, so it don't matter. You know?
Shut up. That's irrelevant. I'm asking you, do you believe that unicorns exist objectively?
I mean, I think they exist in a conceptual world objectively, not in a physical world objectively. No.
Okay, so if it doesn't exist in the physical world objective, i.e., the world of the mind, and we have a definition of the word unicorn, which you believe under your account to verify objectivity, wouldn't it follow from your dumbass account of logic or your reason here that unicorns exist independently of your mind in the physical world?
Say it again?
You said originally that simply because you have a definition which usually refers to something outside the mind, and there is a definition of this word, it would follow from the fact, that idea, that this thing exists independently of the mind in the actual world. I said to you that it will be inconsistent with your current position, which is that unicorns don't objectively exist, considering that we have a definition of the word unicorns.
I mean, that wouldn't be inconsistent. I already told you, like, I think they exist objectively.
Yes, you would, because you don't believe that unicorns exist objectively.
In the conceptual
but you believe that something having a definition verifies objectivity.
In the conceptual world, they're objective. In the physical world, they're not. Because
the conceptual world cannot be objective, retard. The conceptual world is going to be something in the mind. Objectivity is going to be something independently and outside the conceptual world.
Anyway, dumbass bitch.
How can you call me a dumbass bitch if you're the one getting involved?
You literally just said the conceptual world can't be objective. You think about
right now, bro,
you think about objective things when you make up conceptions. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like when you think about
when I talk about the word unicorn and defining that word, I'm not talking about something which actually exists. I'm giving an idea of what I think when I use the word unicorn.
The idea of objective. So objective exists in the conceptual world.
How is it the idea of objective if it doesn't exist in the objective world according to your conception?
Bro, I think there are two distinctions.
You agree that it doesn't exist objectively, retard. So how did it exist objectively?
What I agreed to, I said.
How did you refer to something objective?
Apollo,
you agree it doesn't exist in the actual world.
I said you make a distinction. I said you say the conceptual world or the physical world. You can say
the conceptual world is not objective, retard.
Okay, I just debunked that. Like, anyway.
No, you didn't. Analytically speaking,
I did.
The objective world would be something outside conceptual. Conceptual world is the mental realm. The objective world is something which is the instrumental realm. So, analytically speaking, it would not be the case that the conceptual realm is objective.
What the hell's wrong with your ass? The conceptual world holds an objective thing. The conceptual world holds an objective thing. Just being objective. You use the word objective.
Did you prove that?
Okay, you talked about the word objective. You talked about the word.
You're not even proven that the conceptual realm is objective. You just said it is objective, and I've already explained to you.
Yes, because
analytically speaking, it would not be objective.
The idea of objectivity. It literally incapacitates.
Retard. The idea of objectivity in itself is not objective because the idea exists in the conceptual realm.
You sound stupid. Anyway.
You can say I sound stupid.
Oh my god,
that's not a fucking impressive talking gesture there, right?
You're dumb as shit. Talking about
I'm dumb. You're not even the one who's getting the point. You just said a while ago that because there's an idea of objectivity, it automatically verifies the idea being objective.
Yeah.
Sam, you should be.
How the idea be objective if the idea exists within the conceptual realm? Sorry.
Okay. You should be taught a lesson. Wait, Jen, you should debate like Synth on it actually.
Synth on it, bro. Like, oh my god.
Like you fucking own this fucking retard Synth.
Yeah, I did own Apollo.
No, you should concede to Apollo, dummy.
I owned Apollo.
Anyway, I'm not
even track your
to
This guy just agreed that the idea is within the mind, but it is something outside the mind.
But I'm not a realism fan. I'll talk to him on realism.
I'll throw it over to you, Eric. I want to ask one really quick line to Jen and see if he can grasp why he's retarded. And if he doesn't grasp it, I'll just fucking throw it to you, Eric. And you can talk to him. So Jen, you agree that to be objective means that your existence is not dependent on the mind?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how do you think definitions are made?
I don't think that actually debunks anything, but I'll answer my question. Obviously some form of definitions. Actually, I think definitions whatchamacallit, were already there. Humans just thought about it. We found it. Like, for example, let's say there's a tree that grew, like in Africa, right? Regardless if you don't live in Africa, the tree's still there. And if you went to Africa, you just found it, type shit. That's what I think what actually happens.
The tree's different from the definition. The tree's going to be
no. That's my point. My point is that the definition. My point is that the definition was already there in the mental state.
You think definitions are discovered and not invented? I think
I
see stupid position. You said they were already there?
Yeah, it was discovered, not invented.
Where?
That's what I think happens with conception. So
where?
Such world. Such world.
On the tree of
the conceptual world?
Yeah.
What is the conceptual world?
Abstract thoughts and ideas.
Wait, but he said that you say that these things exist in the conceptual realm, but you say these things exist independently of people and age. How is it going to be the case that exist in the conceptual realm when there's no people in the first?
Yeah, what's an idea? What's an idea? What's an idea, Jen?
Abstract thoughts and abstract thoughts.
What's a thought?
Something that is discovered or thought about, like, and like an example, like to put.
What's thought about?
Yeah, like I don't know what another word used for thought, like think.
Thought about meaning.
Like thinking, like type shit. I don't know another
meaning.
Word. I'll pull up a word to use for it, like
How do you think? Don't you like use your mind for that? Do you use your mind for that?
Okay, no, you use your brain.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
Okay, so yeah, so again, like I don't think what you call it, you using your brain debunks anything, because like I said, for example, let's say unicorns, like the idea of unicorns, regardless if like this, like let's say Simp was, I don't even know how old Simp. I'm just gonna say 20, right?
Okay.
Let's say like 1999, like obviously like the idea.
This guy gibberish for so long. Holy shit.
Yeah,
1999 would not make me 20. That's not how much.
I said no. I said that let's say you're 20, and I put a time frame before you were born.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so the idea of unicorns still is there, regardless if you're like you as an independent thinker thinks about it or not, because you're not born yet. Obviously, you're not even
crazy. Now, can you go ahead and tell me what you think thinking is? What define think?
Think, have a particular opinion, belief, idea.
Belief, like, idea. These seems kind of circular.
I mean, I'm just reading that definition for you.
He said opinion, so he believes that thinking is going to be something which is confined to the conceptual realm.
I'm just reading out the definition for you. Like it's
yep. Like, and what do you think? What do you think a belief is?
That's a good definition for belief for you.
You don't know what you mean when you use the word belief? You have to search up a definition?
I mean, I just don't. I'm just not. I don't want you to like.
You can't communicate what you mean by the word belief?
You can look up a different definition. Look up the definition of the word mind.
Mind? I don't think that's gonna help y'all, but okay.
Oh, I got you. Here we go. I'll read it for you. Are you okay with me reading it, or would you like to read it?
I got it.
I don't think you can read, so you just do it for him.
My intelligence.
Look, say it out loud.
Which one do you want me to read? The
first one. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
The element of a person that enables them to be aware of the world, their awareness, to experience, to think, and to feel. Yes, yeah, okay.
To what and to feel?
Read the part after the semicolon. Come on.
The fact I don't think that debunks this.
Read the part after. No, read it.
Yeah, I got you.
Wait. Can you like post it?
No, wait, Moxie, let him read it.
The factual cognitive and thought. Like I don't think that debunks anything. Like
sorry, the faculty of consciousness.
Sorry, you really skipped over that. Sorry, at the end you said thought.
Yeah. That doesn't matter. Like what? I'm not disagreeing with.
So you think there's thoughts independent of a mind on your view? It's constitutive of a mind just for it to think.
Okay, like I already gave an example.
Yeah.
Regardless of an independent.
He gave an example, Eric.
Yeah, that's not.
Sorry, you don't care about your example.
Sorry,
I think with the matter, I'm just pointing out the contradiction.
Well, I'm not getting how an example is going to answer my question. My question was just if he thinks.
Shows you clearly
sorry. My example is just if you think, my question was just whether or not you think there's mind-independent thoughts.
Yeah.
Do you think there's thoughts independent of minds? And just to be clear, in the definition of mind that you read out, it had constitution of it, where you have thoughts.
Yeah, I think all thoughts.
You're a fucking idiot! Kill yourself! Like, holy shit, you're fucking stupid, bro.
Wait, so let's get this clear. So wait, how do you construe thoughts? Wait, hold on a second. Let me question. So, do we construe thoughts as something which could be a part of extramental and mental realm? Is that correct?
I think it's both. Yes. Like,
you think it's both? So, what do you mean by the word thought then?
My thought, I'm going to say it again. I think it's just something like an abstract idea or concept,
like a type of mental state.
Yeah, and I think regardless.
But wait, if you
no,
by
no,
a thought,
yeah, don't say yeah. You can't do that.
how can it be something outside of a mental state?
I'm listening to y'all. Like, listen to me. I think regardless of it, if an independent thinker is there or not, that doesn't mean that what you call it still exists. That's why I gave the example earlier with like the idea of unicorns still existing even before
wait, listen, hold on. You're like killing my. Wait, hold on. Just pause 1 second. You're killing my brain cells really rapidly.
Okay.
I'm asking you the very simple question, which is, how can there be a thought independent of the mind within your definition of what a thought is? It is something which is confined to the mental realm.
It doesn't say confined. It just says that what you call it.
I never said you said this. I'm saying that this is an entailment of your definition.
What I'm saying, the definition doesn't say it. The definition that I read doesn't. The definition that I read doesn't say it is confined there. It just says that you can see it there. Like
the definition points to the properties of the specific thing or the thing that we're talking about. And if it is a case that to say that this thing exists independent of the mind is something which is compatible with the already established essential of what we mean by this word, how is it going to be the case possible that it can exist independent of the mind if it's incompatible with the definition?
Okay, you done? I mean, I already gave an example for it earlier. I'm making sure.
If I say, for example, I'm going to give you a very simple example. If I say that the word bachelor means an unmarried man, how would that be compatible with me thinking that a bachelor can both be an unmarried and a married man? If it is already established that an essential feature of what a bachelor is for it to be, or for that person to be an unmarried man.
I mean, if you think that's what you call it,
I'm asking you a question. That's not even a proposition. It's not about what do you think. I'm asking you a question. How would it be the case? Hold on, shut up. Shut up. Hold on. The definition of a bachelor, they did not say verbatim that a bachelor can only be an unmarried man, but they defined a bachelor to be an unmarried man. This is the only thing we're thinking about when you use the word bachelor in a linguistic scenario. So if that is the case, how would it be compatible for me to claim that a bachelor can be a married man if that conflicts with what I'm thinking about when I use the word bachelor in a specific conversation? That would create a contradiction. But given the understanding of the bachelor we have, retard.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow. The sky is blue. That was so obvious, isn't it, retard? Fucking stupid. Get the fuck out of here.
You done?
Yes, I'm finished. We're done beating you up, bro. Get out.
Yeah, right. I already gave out example how
this guy has autism. He needs you to tell you the social cue.
Can I go home now?
Y'all just seem to interrupt me a lot, so like, I'm making sure I finish talking.
Yeah, when people are done talking, that's the social cue for you to talk. It's like what people that don't have autism. I know it's mind blowing. Wow. Someone with autism.
Whoa! It's what blowing? Whoa! It's what blowing? You're gonna have to clarify those terms. I don't think this guy knows what that means.
Right. Me asking if y'all done because you interrupt a lot. Like, it's definitely me with autism, not y'all just interrupting.
I'm curious.
Sorry, are you done?
You sound like you're autistic.
Are you done right now?
Yeah,
I mean, if you think y'all interrupting,
what race are you? What's your race?
So you're not done. You're not done.
What's your race?
I mean, you should know, right?
Oh, I think I do know, but I want to hear you to say it. Go ahead.
Now, what do you think?
Could definitely take this dick. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my god! Hold up, I'm lagging. Rejoin the VC.
So, what's your race?
Oh, he's got to rejoin the VC. But
Moxie, why are you out here race checking people?
Because I hate.
Yeah,
what the fuck is wrong with you? Insane.
Moxie's just trying to figure out what
race checking moment.
Wait, Moxie, what's your thoughts on gay niggas?
I love Thug Hunters. I watch them all the time.
Yo, Ghetto Jin, we got his blessing. Let's go.
What happened? I just joined back. I was lagging. What happened?
Don't worry about it, nigga.
Oh my god, Porca.
What? I just said don't worry about it. Anyways,
yo, wait, Jin, I want to talk to you like one-on-one for 1 second. I have a question.
Wait, before we talk, are you gonna interrupt? Because like, if you're gonna interrupt, I don't care.
No, I won't interrupt. Okay, I won't interrupt. It'll be amazing for you. Yeah, so I'm just wondering if you think that there's. Well, I guess I'll just lay this out, right? So Apollo asked you for the argument for realism, right? And what you said is that, look, it's moral to be good, right? And then obviously the explanation you gave for why that's the case is just that it's analytically true, right? So it's just true by virtue of what, good means and moral means. And you think that shows that there's like moral facts out there. So what I'm just wondering is if you think there's unicorn facts, right? Because obviously it's just analytically true that unicorns have horns, right? So, I mean, I don't get why you'd be committed to moral realism and not unicorn realism.
I think it's morally alright for Ghetto Jin to take this dick.
Okay, so I agree there's facts about everything, but the point I was trying to make when Apollo asked that question with the unicorns exist in real life, I said, regardless if you think unicorns exist in real life, I think there's a distinction between something existing in the like conceptual landscape, like with the mental stuff.
Asking for the ontological distinction between.
Wait, no, Jin can't get interrupted. He's gonna cry. Interrupted.
Oh, okay.
And the physical world. Hence why I said like, regardless of these facts being true in this world, that doesn't mean it actually not corresponds. Like,
what's the like self-stumbling?
Okay, bruh. Takes
no, I think I get what you're trying to say. Like, sounds like you're trying to say they exist conceptually, but they don't actually exist like out there in the physical world. But I mean, if you want to just say that for moral facts, then you're not a moral realist, at least by what most philosophers are talking about. When they're talking about moral realism, which is that, independent of people's minds, there are moral properties. If you just mean, there's these trivial analytic claims about what's moral and what's good, then everyone will accept that. Even like error theorists will accept what you're saying.
Well, my point is that what's the word you used earlier? You said facts. It was trivial facts, or am I misremembering?
Yeah, I used the word trivial.
Analytic facts.
By that I just mean it's analytic. Like it's just true by virtue of what the terms mean. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think those things, like by definition, would constitute for things that exist outside the mind. Because I said earlier, I think that regardless of it being a thought or not mind dependent, but the mind is used to verify it, like to see it. I think that regardless of that, it still exists even without the thinker. Like that's why I gave the analogy of the tree, and like before born, the idea of unicorn still was alive even before Simp was discovered it.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're just making some claim like the concept of a moral fact. Like, I don't know, charitably, like I said this in chat, you're like being a Platonist or something. You're saying like, yeah, there's I don't want to say there's some idea, but there's some like form or something out there. And you think those exist, but you don't think that, and that's fine. Like an anti-realist can accept that. But when, moral realists are talking about there being objective moral facts, at least contemporarily, they're just talking about there being actual states of affairs like out there in the world, like rightness and wrongness and goodness and badness. Yeah. Rather than just the concept. Like everyone's gonna accept the conceptual claim, right? What people are gonna reject is the existential claim. So like when people are talking about moral facts, like facts there is just talking about like actual, states of affairs. It's it. Yeah, it's not. So I don't even know if there's actually a disagreement between you and Apollo.
Or between you and any anti-realist, sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I accept.
Yeah. So how do you get from the conceptual? So, I just don't get how he gets from like the conceptual pieces to the, as you say, the existential pieces, like something regarding some facts about morality independently of our minds. Like I don't see the extrapolation there from that specific premise to the conclusion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if he holds the existential piece.
Well, he has to, right? He said a while ago that there are certain facts which exist about morality independently of what we think, right? So I'm saying that what's going to be the argument for that specific proposition?
The argument that I gave was that, like, analytically, like, just being good is moral by definition would just be the fact. That's
just talking about what we mean by good and moral. That's not talking about whether there's something. That's not proving that these words are representing something about the actual world. It's just saying that conceptually speaking, these things mean each other. Retard. Like so stupid.
Do you not think that if you were to be good in the world, it would not?
I'll give you an example. So like, let's look at the unicorn. If I think a unicorn is some flying horse, the horn, which has like a rainbow horn or whatever, right? That's just what I mean by unicorn. And analytically speaking, it's going to be true that they mean the same thing, right? It's not going to actually be proven that outside my mind there is a unicorn.
Oh, wait, Apollo, if you're talking about these things exist in the real world, you understand like if I were to say, for example, instead of saying like being good is moral, I would just say killing is wrong. you understand like that obviously exists in the real world, and by definition,
no, killing exists in the real world, but we don't know whether the properties of wrongness and rightness exist in the real world, which is going to be what's being debated about, retard.
You don't. Okay, if you don't think that, I don't know, bro. Don't know.
You don't know whether your position is yours.
I'm talking about you. You don't know. You might need some help because, like, we got whole like court systems. You know, we got whole.
That's just legal laws.
People being in the right or in the wrong type shit, like, logically speaking, which I do think logic in some way.
That these laws aren't based on the mind.
Apollo, my point is these things do take into effect in the real world, and if that is the case, me saying killing is bad.
No, right, you're just saying that the laws have like an effect in terms of determining the consequence of these actions. That's not proving that the actions, inherently speaking, are going to be something which is wrong or right, independently of what we think.
Apollo, my point is that if they literally, Apollo, if good or bad is shown to exist in the world because things like laws and stuff restrict you from doing said actions.
That can be explained under cultural relativism. You're retarded.
Okay, Apollo, my point is that since these things
your point's dumb, yeah, I get it. Could you move on, please?
Okay, bro. At this point, just being stubborn, bro.
No, stubborn? You're the one who's making the dumb points and explain to you why you're wrong on it, and you're just not admitting the fact that you're wrong. Just making a whole bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, nonsense. Done.
I mean, you're the one who got clowned, not me, so.
Like y'all clown. Well, imagine, bro, clown. Imagine.
Bro, you believe in mind independent thoughts. You are a clown.
At the end of the day, what's his name? I don't know who was talking. Who was the one that was talking before Apollo joined back in?
That was me, man.
John. All right. At the end of the day, John understood what I was talking about, and he seemed to at least agree that what I was talking about was at least
He doesn't agree that your positions here are compatible with moral realism. He agrees that he literally said your position or the way you or the commitments of your position would be compatible with my stance, you dumbass.
I know what he said. He said my position wouldn't be talking about the actual physical world. It'll be talking about the mental state. But my whole
He's
point
saying that your position wouldn't be justifying objective moral facts. It's not committing yourself to objective moral facts.
You need to listen. Those are done. My point that just got.
I'm listening to what you're saying. It's just nonsense.
Okay, this one I meant. All you do is interrupt and you just like fucking waffle. Like, oh my god, this.
Can I ask a question here at some point?
Sure.
So, what do you think morals are?
Morals?
Yeah.
Morals just things you live by.
No, like I want like a deeper account than that. Like what ontologically are they? Like what you said that they exist in the conceptual realm or something like that. But like what are they?
Like what do you mean by what are they? Like
so like I'm gonna take morals to just be like stance independent reasons, right? And I'm gonna be specifically referring to I think that there's a thing. It's not exactly in the world. It's my ontology is like complicated, but there is like there basically there exists suffering and there exists like good experiences, and these have like in their nature is that they are reasons for and against actions. Like I think that that's like part of what suffering is that it's like is that it has this this like reason to be avoided. So like what do you think morals are? Like what like where are they? How what are you referring to? What's the thing you're referring to? Or like what moral reasons are there, and like what are they?
Yeah, I just think morals are just principles that people live by. You know, like whether you think killing is good or bad, whether you think robbing is good or bad type shit.
So if somebody lived by just following the law, would the law be morals?
Whatchamacallit?
Whatchamacallit?
Okay. If they live by that, by their logic, it would be yeah.
By their logic wasn't the question. I asked you what by their logic. I'm asking by your logic.
My logic? I mean, I don't really have an opinion on like live. I do think like if you want to like actually live in a society, you need to follow them to some extent. Like obviously you can like do like maybe some small breaks that like wouldn't be like wouldn't get you in trouble.
I didn't ask that.
Well, I'm answering a question. Like, what the hell?
No, you're not. You're answering some question that wasn't asked.
What? You asked me what I thought about it. What?
I didn't ask you, what do you think about it? No, I didn't.
What do you ask?
I asked you, is it the case that the laws are morals?
I mean, since people live by them, I think it would be, yeah.
Okay, so the laws are moral, and people's subjective views on what morals are morals, and they're all objectively morals.
I think that I think that you can have subjective viewpoints on objective things, but obviously, since these objective things do exist, at the end of the day, in the line, it will just be objectively false, regardless if you know about it or not.
How is it objectively false? It is true that those are what morals are.
Yeah. I understand it's true those are morals are, but that doesn't change at the end of the day. It can still be wrong or right. For example, it is true that
laws are moral.
It is true.
And you'd agree. Wait, hold on. Laws are moral. Believe it like in the 18th century, so nothing wrong with slavery, right?
I was talking to anyway. It is true that like
I don't care. I'm asking a question.
Okay,
you're my server. Take it or leave it.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, like you want to like take me away from.
Don't care. I'm asking a very simple question. Is it the case that in the 18th century there's nothing wrong with slavery?
I mean, back in the day it would be right. Sure, yeah.
So that means your view is just the same as cultural.
Why is the realist biting this bullet? Why are you pretending to be?
If it is the case that in the 18th century there's nothing wrong with slavery, then what's the distinguishing factor between your view and cultural relativism?
You're not listening. My point is that objectively, this thing can be wrong or right, right? Regardless, if this person at the time frame can think it is wrong or right, they would just be objectively wrong or just objectively right.
You have this position, and then you have a different position when you define morals.
Like what the hell?
You have this position, but when you define morals, you define them as something that like.
Wait, let me ask him a question. So are you saying that independently of what anyone thinks in the 18th century, there's nothing wrong with slavery? So it was objectively moral?
If you think that's what I said, you got it, bro.
I'm not saying that this is what you're saying. I'm asking you a clarifying question, dumbass. Is yes or no?
I think slavery is wrong. That's what I'm gonna say. whether like people in 18th century
under your account, laws are morals, and in the 18th century, slavery was right under these laws.
Yep, Apollo. My point is that regardless if they think it's right or they think it's wrong, my point is that their subjective viewpoint wouldn't change the objective viewpoint.
Wait, so you agree
would you mind listening to the things that they say before you
viewpoints? Wait, so you agree that laws are subjective viewpoints? So if laws are morals and laws are subjective viewpoints, then morals are subjective viewpoints. Concession accepted.
Apollo, I already said earlier you can have subjective viewpoints, objective things. You're just gonna be wrong or
right.
Wait,
you understand that what you said a while ago wouldn't entail a concession on your part?
It wouldn't entail a concession. What are you talking about?
It does, because you draw an equivalence between laws and morals, and then you agree that these things back then, which are laws, are subjective viewpoints. Therefore, they are subjective.
I don't understand how my position is that objective things do exist, and I'm saying okay, alongside these objective things, subjective things can exist, regardless if these subjective things do exist. That doesn't change the true value of the subjective things.
It doesn't prove that moral properties are a part of the set of objective things, which is what's in question.
In math, 2 + 2 is 4. If you think 2 + 2 is 5, go ahead, sure. You just be wrong. That like
it's ranting. We're not talking about. Listen, we can agree that there are objective facts that exist, right?
You're so stupid.
That doesn't prove that moral statements are going to be a part of the set of objective facts or properties or things in the universe.
Okay.
Right?
So
that's what's in question.
The logic follows.
What?
The logic follows, regardless of your stance.
Subjectively, this logic follows. Are you saying that there are objective things that exist, therefore moral things are objective follow? How does it follow there?
That's not what I said, Apollo. What I said.
Yes, it is. You try to make an argument that because there are objective things that exist, and that 2 + 2 is equivalent to 4 and not 5, and from that it follows that moral facts are objective, or moral things are objective.
You're trying to say like, it was good back in the day, but it's wrong now. That doesn't actually make me concede my position. My position has always been subjective things exist alongside objective things. I've always believed that. That's why
we're not disagreeing on whether there's a combination of both subjective and objective things. What I'm talking about here is the fact that you agreed that these laws back then were subjective, and if you agree that laws in this case is subjective,
but you understand that,
then how are you going to me that morals, which are laws, are not subjective? Hello?
Okay, I just unmuted you because you were like ranting.
Oh my God! Says you were literally rambling for a million years. Are you crazy?
Wait, guys. Do you agree with what I'm saying, or like, is he just like retarded? Like, I don't think you understand.
Yeah, he's super retarded. I don't know. Like, I feel like if he stopped talking as much and like actually listened to what was being said, he might like learn something. But I don't know.
The only person there's only two people. The only two people who stopped interrupting and actually had a general conversation. That being John and I don't know how to pronounce your name, but Phoenix Milks. I'm just calling you Milk. Like those are the only people. Everybody else, y'all just interrupting. Like what the fuck? There's no way you're talking about like I'm being uncourteous. Y'all started that shit. So you want to keep energy? Keep energy. Like what the hell?
Okay, can you like stop crying now?
I super searched that shit. Yeah, for sure, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. Go through recording and see that shit.
Dude, you rambled for like 10 minutes, and now you won't let people get through like 3 sentences. Like
y'all can't.
You just aren't hearing points, and it's really frustrating to hear you not respond to the point and just repeat what you're saying and not actually consider what's being said to you for 10 whole minutes.
It's cool. Y'all can have them respond. It's cool, bro.
Okay, yeah. So are you gonna answer like any of the questions you've been asked?
Are we gonna continue to be courteous, or we're gonna like just like rant and shit?
I don't know. Are you gonna ramble for 10 minutes and dodge the question?
I mean, I only start rambling if y'all rambling, so. But I'm talking
very cool.
Like, who wants to ask the question first? Like, I don't want to get bombarded and like keep jumping around, and then like y'all make a whole.
This guy is not a real person.
Okay.
I can take it, or Apollo, you can take over. I just this person. I don't know. I mean, I can try. I can try to get through to this person. I don't think that they're gonna like listen to the words that I have to say. So I don't know how interested I am. But here. So you think that morals are things that are like a set of rules that people live by, right?
Right.
Okay. And you think that that I assume that you agree that there was a time at which people lived by rules, which led to them owning slaves. Is that correct?
Obviously, yeah.
Right. So those were morals at that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you said that those are morals at that time, but you also said that owning slaves was immoral at that time, right?
No, what I said is that what I thought was it's immoral. Like we're talking about.
So you do agree that it was that like it was regardless of what they thought, it was objectively not moral at that time, right?
Okay. We're talking about the objective.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it is both the case that it is moral and not moral. From this point, we can just run the principle of explosion in favor of anti-realism.
Well, I don't agree with that. If you let me explain.
Why are you still debating? I just like left.
So no, yeah, we just have P or not P here, right? So we can
wait.
Not P or Q. Therefore Q being moral anti-realism.
Milk.
Understand why you're like explaining this. He doesn't understand, bro. Like,
milk. I agree that objectively it was wrong.
I doesn't even know what objective means.
Anyway,
that literally, bro doesn't even know objectivism.
Oh my god,
bro, it's just like
Yeah, the prove to me the external world.
I feel like I've deductively shown from your views that you're wrong and you've lost this debate.
I don't think that the slave owners had an objective viewpoint. I think that they had a subjective viewpoint on the objective matter.
Oh, that means you just think wrong.
But that's those morals were a subjective viewpoint, is what you're saying.
No, listen. I think you can have subjective viewpoints on objective things. So, for example,
I didn't ask about subjective viewpoints. You said it was moral. You said that those were morals at the time. Morals aren't going to be about something.
Listen, my point is that regardless of his morals at the time, to that person, that doesn't change the objective viewing on the moral. Killing is wrong, right? In certain scenarios, that doesn't mean that the niggas who had like fucking mass shootout KKK type shit was right back then. Like, no. That's not what that means.
Those were rules that they lived by.
How are they?
Your definition of morals.
That was the law back then. Under your view, laws are the morals. And if it was the law that this thing is moral, or there's nothing wrong with it, then under your view, it was right back then. So your whole position is contradictory.
No, Apollo, I want you to play this right. 2 + 2 is 4. If you go back in time,
you're not asking for the same dumbass example.
Oh my god!
The points, please. You agree that laws are laws, morals are laws. Laws are morals. They're identical. Back then, the law was that slavery is okay. Therefore, back then it was moral. Your claim that it was immoral back then. Therefore, that means you believe that morals are not identical to laws, which contradicts your earlier proposition.
I think it was only moral back then under that subjective viewpoint. That's it.
So you agree that the laws back then were subjective, right?
Bro. Anyway, like my whole point is
anyway, so that's an agreement. No substantive response.
I believe in objectivity and subjectivity compatibility.
Yeah, we get that you believe in this, but you're not even you're not doing a good job, right?
I mean, you already agree earlier that
you just get caught traps, and we just
it's not traps.
Contradictions in your position, and you just keep on saying this. Well, I believe in moral objectivism. Okay, cool.
You guys have already agreed by this logic that these good and bad things do exist in reality. Okay, so if that is the case, if I made a moral claim earlier,
why did that? You just stretch.
Okay,
you're just reaching. I should say.
Being good is moral. I would literally.
You're quite literally. Agreed with that. What are you talking about?
What? In order for y'all to even argue.
Nobody agreed that under your logic it would be the case things exist in reality. Nobody agreed with that.
Oh my god, that's not.
Yeah, nobody does agree with that, but even the people could grant that to you, and it could still be the case they disagree with your conclusion because it's not going to make your argument for you.
Oh my god, that's
you
not
can, what I said, though, Jen, you understand? Like somebody could say minds exist in reality, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't do anything for your view. I don't know why you. I don't know why that's the point you thought you were gonna make.
Sim, listen. My point is that because Apollo was saying earlier, well, you can't prove that like good or bad actually like exists in reality, like unicorns type of analogy. And then I
never even said that you can't say that good and bad are is a part of reality. I'm just asking you what's the argument that these things are a part of reality. Now you're just straw man in me personally.
Anyway, my point. What I was
so you agree that was a straw man?
Apollo, my point is
so you concede it's a straw man?
Apollo.
So you agree there's a straw man?
Apollo. My point.
So there's a straw man?
Apollo.
So you agree there's a straw man?
It wasn't a straw man. Okay.
You said that I said that good and bad cannot be a part of reality. I said that was not what I said, and I just simply asked you for an argument as to why these things would be a part of reality.
Yeah, it wasn't a straw man. Because it wasn't a straw man because I prefaced this by going into if y'all
are you saying it is or it isn't a straw man?
Apollo, if you let me talk, you understand. But this is what I said earlier, like you just don't.
Well, I'm letting you speak. I asked you a clarifying question, so go ahead and respond.
You interrupt every time, so like I don't think that is true.
What?
I said you interrupted.
What does he say?
Every time I was going to talk, so I don't think that's true.
Hit us with another one of those mind-independent thoughts, Jen. Go ahead.
Hilarious. But yeah, Apollo, like I was saying, before we went into this whole fucking back and forth, what I said is that if y'all believe the position that these subjective things, like a good or bad, like takes into reality with the KKK and slavery type shit, then y'all agree good or bad does form in reality, and that is the case. What I said earlier about being good is moral, that would literally showcase an objective moral. But I preface this by saying
you're just basically saying that these subjective things has an impact on the external world, or they have some causal impact. And how does that disprove the fact that they're subjective, which is what's the point of contention?
Apollo, what I preface is that these things.
Point of contention is whether they're subjective. You're just agreeing that they're subjective now, and you're just trying to reach to a conclusion relevant to the point of contention.
Apollo, I never said these subjective things were objective. That's not what I said. But it's cool, bro.
Is that not what you said?
No, what I said was that.
And what did he say?
What I said is if you grant, right? That's why I think it wasn't a strawman. I said if you grant these subjective things appearing as evidence for good or bad, then you need to agree with the fact that someone claiming that being good is moral would be objective by that logic.
Well, we're not talking about the evidential platform. We're talking about your idea of morals. You believe that morals are identical to laws. You said that's verbatim. And then you said that back in the 18th century, it is still immoral that this thing is wrong, that thing being slavery. So that's going to point out some incompatibility within your understanding of morality.
Only objectively speaking, Apollo. Only objectively speaking.
Only if what?
Only objectively speaking, would it be wrong? If you were talking about a subjective viewpoint, obviously they felt it was right back in the day, but they were wrong.
Wait, so if hold on. If from a subjective viewpoint, it was right back then, right? Are you saying that the subjective viewpoint would be the law that determines it being right back then?
I'm saying Apollo. I'm saying regardless, where did these?
This is not a direct.
Apollo, I'm responding.
What makes it right back then?
Apollo, I'm responding. I'm saying regardless.
What makes it right back then? Is it the laws or something else?
Apollo.
What makes it? Listen, I'm not going to end this little dodging shtick, okay? It's a universal question. If it is a law, say yes, it's laws. If it is something else, just say something else. What makes this thing right back then?
You're waffle, bro. You're waffle.
I'm waffling.
You're waffling. If you just
think that was an impressive rhetorical gesture right there?
You're waffling, bro. I'm not trying to be rhetorical.
That's just unimpressive. You're not looking good right now, bro. Look, you dodged the point and saying I'm waffling. You just pointing to everyone that you're uneducated on the topic and this can't respond to the question. So again, I'm going to ask you this very basic. And let me know if I have to break it down, I guess, simpler for you because you have like a very low IQ.
Okay,
which is what makes the case that slavery in the 18th century was right? What makes the case?
Yeah, like I was.
What was the right maker there?
Like I said before I interrupted, regardless if these subjective things think is true or false.
This is not responding to the question. I'm asking you, what is the specific detail that made slavery right in the 18th century? I don't care about this little, regardless of whatever bullshit. I'm asking you, what is it that made slavery right back then?
Yeah, if you let me finish, you get the answer to your question.
But what you're saying already not respond to the question, so I can already tell it's not responsive. I can already tell it's irrelevant.
It is responding, so.
Okay, so how is it responsive? What specific details are you telling me that determines the morality of slavery?
How about you shut up and you understand it? Like
no, I'm asking what is.
Okay, anyway.
What determines the morality of slavery? Tell me.
Ignore you.
So are you going to tell me the specific details? Hello? Hello?
You going to finish the sentence, or are you just gonna like be cool? You're just gonna be keep.
You weren't even speaking. You stopped speaking, and then I was like calling hello, and I was not getting any response. Well, I'll let you finish the sentence if you actually respond to my question.
Okay, so if you listen, you'll hear the response. Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna listen to all the fucking bullshit you're gonna say. I'm gonna see if it's gonna respond to what I say.
Regardless of the subjective viewpoint, it wouldn't change the objective viewpoint. Okay, I want you to keep that in mind. Regardless of these people thinking it's wrong or right, it wouldn't change the actual standing that is objectively bad. So I think the objective thing is what determines it. People are just disagreeing with the objective thing.
Hence okay, so I was right. I was right when I said that your position or your response wasn't actually respond to my question. Okay. So I never asked you about what the subjective viewpoints has an impact on the actual world and the facts regarding the actual world. What I asked you was if it is a case that under your viewpoint, laws are what morals or laws is identical to morality or moral facts, right? And you'd have to agree that slavery was in fact moral back then, right? That would be a moral fact back then under your system. But then you said that it is not moral back then. So that would not only point to an incompatibility within your moral system, but you need to further clarify your concept of morality to avoid and ignore this incompatibility. So again, I'm going to ask you this question. If it is an entailment of your moral system that slavery was moral back then, right? And you don't agree that slavery was, let me just repeat my question. If it's a case that an entailment of your position is that slavery was moral back then, and you disagree with this entailment of your proposition or your position here, what is it that's going to make slavery immoral back then? And why is it the case that slavery would be immoral if it is a case that laws is what dictates morality in the past or under your moral system?
Apollo, I said this before, I'm going to say it again. I think that objective things and subjective things exist in the same framework. I think regardless if these people follow these laws or rules they made up there by themselves, it doesn't change the overarching objective viewpoint on these rules or systems in society, right? So that's why I keep telling you, right, that like it does respond to it, but like you just don't really like understand that.
And wait, where are these systems decided
from? I mean, you
are these based on authoritarian's opinion?
I mean, you can figure it out, bro. I'm pretty much done with you.
I'm asking you where they from. Could you tell me where these systems are decided from?
Go ahead, Jen.
Okay,
Who created these laws, and what compelled these people into creating these laws? Are these laws just a reflection of people's beliefs from was a part of the hierarchy of society?
I mean, these laws already existed. They just formed into reality, you know?
They're formed into reality by who?
They already existed. They just made into reality, you know?
So they existed before society existed?
Everything you can think of or not think of already existed.
Wait a second. So everything I can think of and not think of already existed. So are you saying that unicorns exist?
Apollo.
Answer the question.
You said that unicorns exist, but now you're saying that everything you can think of exists.
Apollo.
Don't say his name. Just answer. You fucking retard.
Say his name.
You fucking bug.
We already talked about this earlier, Apollo. Like, so I don't think you need to answer that question.
Why are you asking? Why are you repeating my name? Just answer the question.
You Apollo, fucking worm.
We already talked about this earlier. I don't think you need to answer that question.
Oh my god. I hate this dude. He's fucking. He's such a fucking bug. Oh my god.
Damn. Everything I can think of and not think of already existed.
Unicorns exist. Spider-Man exists.
Yeah, like I said, they just
Ghetto Jin winning a debate exists.
No,
I'm not sure I can think of that.
Very funny. All this started because I said that you were too scared to actually debate. You wanted to go to row position. Like, you're a troll, bro.
No, don't have any row position.
So Ghetto Jin are gonna respond?
Anyway.
So Ghetto Jin are gonna respond?
Oh, you respond.
No, he didn't. I asked you where these societal systems and laws from, and you didn't really explain to me where they actually from.
I already told you. Anything you could think of.
What was your response? Anything
you could think of and not think of was already there. They just brought it into existence and physically. That's already.
Who brought it? Wait, who brought it into existence?
Physically speaking, you can maybe it was God moves the humans. You know, like I don't know, bro.
Wait a second. So you're saying that God? Wait, hold on. So these are systems within society which changes dependent on the society. And you're saying that God created these systems?
Bro, I'm definitely ignoring you now. Like you knew that I was trolling. I said God. I hope you knew that.
Okay, so you're gonna drop that part. Okay, so what was your other part to respond?
Bro, I'm gonna say it again for you. Any thought or non-thought you can think of conceptually, right? It already existed there. It was just brought into the world by these people. You know, for example, they made a bike. You know, they made a cage type shit.
So you're saying that everything we think of has already existed independently of our mind, that we brought it, just bring it into existence?
Physically speaking, yes.
So wait a second. If it already existed independently of our minds, and we brought it into existence, we bringing it into existence. Wait, hold on. We bringing it into existence. That activity in itself would entail that at some point in time it not exist until we actually decided to bring it into existence, which would imply that it did not actually exist independent of the mind.
Apollo. Hence why I literally said we talked about this earlier. I believe in both forms of existence, like the conceptual world. And
I get what you believe in. I also believe in this, Ghetto Jin. Look, this is irrelevant to my point. Here's this, right? You said that these things independently of our minds before you conceptual things, but then you said afterwards that we bring these things into existence, which would imply that the reason why these things exist. Shut up. The reason why these things exist would be because we bring these things into existence. We think about these things. So how would that be compatible with your earlier position?
Physically speaking. Oh my god, you're trolling.
Physically speaking? So you agree that they didn't exist independent from mind? Agree that the only time existed. Wait, hold on, wait, shut up. So you're saying that you're saying that they existed independently of our mind, right? Correct? Yeah, correct. Okay. And you said we brought it into existence in the physical world. Right? So how is it going to be the case that before minds exist, these things that before these things are being brought into the physical realm, they existed? Are you good?
Nah, but you are.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
But you can't even give a response to my question.
I responded to it, but you just keep like rambling.
No, you didn't. You said no, but you are. That was the response.
I already responded to it, bro.
How did you already respond to it? That was the first.
I responded to it, bro. It's cool.
Could you prove you've already responded to it?
Okay. You sound like you want right now. Be for Apollo.
I'm saying okay or proof for your claim. Could you prove this you've already done?
Apollo, be so for right now.
How did you
like, don't
call him a proof for the claim that you actually already responded to it?
Apollo, don't be like D1.
I didn't stop on my name, you gay ass faggot. Just answer my question.
Bro, if you're gonna act like D1, like I don't care. Like you already know
I'm
how I
acting
feel
like
about
D1
that word.
how?
Bro, you literally said what you said earlier.
Listen, I don't care about whether I'm acting like
D1.
D1 or not. I'm asking you
Apollo,
for a
you already-
response to what I
okay.
said to you a while ago. So give me the
Alright,
response.
come on, bro.
And if you
Now,
said
you're gonna act like
to what I said, prove to me that you've given the response before.
if you're gonna act like that, it's cool, bro. Like,
Act like what? I'm acting pretty normal.
bro, you look okay. Apollo, we both know.
Okay.
Just now, and earlier,
Okay. 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 That's you, bro. Okay.
Ghetto Jin. You think that anything that you can think of is possible for you to think of, whether you know that or not, is something that does actually exist, and that's your standard for something being real?
Say it again.
Your standard for something being real is that you can think of it, like it's possible for it to be thought of.
My standard for real is any type of existence, but you can obviously clarify, what type of existence you're talking about for like a debate. Like for example, you're talking about God. You say God exists. Obviously, that's big, right?
I don't need a ramble. I just needed like a yes or no answer to the question.
Okay. Well, if you think that was rambling, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're sorry
Was that
for
a
rambling.
yes or a no?
I mean, I don't think it was rambling, but if you thought it was, I'm sorry.
That's all good.
That means you just think wrong.
Yes or no?
I don't even know the answer to it. At this point, I'm too zoned out. You know, politics get on my nerves.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that it's because you're too zoned out. I just think it's like kind of slow.
Mm-hmm.
These things existed independently from our minds, but we brought it into physical existence. So, before they were being brought into physical existence, where did they exist? In our minds? But I thought they existed independently from our minds. So dumb.
It's very dumb.
And if it didn't exist in our minds, then that means that they just did not exist. Therefore, they didn't exist independently from our minds. You got a fucked up brain, bro. I'm sorry.
Rethink that, bro.
I know that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that an agreement to me knowing that by saying mm-hmm?
You're acting like D1 right now, bro.
Okay, so it is an agreement.
Okay, you're gonna act like D1, like it's whatever.
Yeah, I actually won. At the same time, you agree with what I said. Thank you.
Okay.
All it takes is one bad day.
Got a special role, bro.
Guess that's it. I'm gonna see if anything's. Is anything going on in Glocks? No. It's just
Those rolls
people.
are brutal. Those are some fucking brutal ass rolls.
What role? What roles?
Ghetto just got
Worse
white
than
belt.
calm? Damn,
Worse
that's
than
crazy.
calm.
I don't know about
No,
worse than
I'm
calm.
still here.
That's crazy. I don't know.